Well, good news. I've got my voice back. This episode of Who Should You Choose? I go through the prior videos, questions, and comments and help you with your HUT lineup decisions. Again, for anyone just watching these videos, make sure you stay tuned as I cover a wide range of topics when I go through all these. So even if you don't get your question answered specifically, I probably answer it or somewhat answer it throughout the video. On top of that, if you ever need your question answered live and immediately, just come to my Twitch stream. I go live by 2 p.m. Eastern time every single day, and I'd be happy to help. Also, check out HUT Hub, my HUT database. We now have our app, League Gaming, on the App Store, iOS and Android. Just click on HUT Hub, and you will get access to every single HUT card and everything like that right on your phone via the app. All right, let's get into it. All right, we'll start things off with Maze Jolt. Slave says, hope all is good. It's better now, man. Let me tell you. Love all the content. As always, keep up the great work. So after a short hiatus, I'm back in the NHL grind on hardcore mode. That doesn't sound healthy. Even though 24 is among the worst NHL games of the current state, but I still have hopes, some minor tunings, and it could be really good. With that said, just give me back 22 without the stick wiggling. You know what? I think I'm there too, man. I hated 22, but I think that 22 wasn't so bad in comparison. But anyways, so my question, I currently made 100 Evo collectibles. I assume it was the same trade-in as for Team of the Year. Okay. And should I use my Champs rewards to get power-up collectibles, or should I do the Mega Players Pack? I have a few power-up icons, all Ultimate icons, and OBX Factor. So is it worth it to make the power-up collectibles over Mega Packs from Champs? Yeah, if you have all the Team Builders or all the Ultimate icons, I would go with power-up collectibles and not the Mega Players Packs, because Mega Player Packs, you are just trying to get the stuff to make those cards. Love the videos. Do you think this event is worth it? Seems like a pass. I'm going to touch on this real quick. So something that EA is clearly trying to do is slow down the progression of the game, which I don't think necessarily is a bad thing, because at 99 HUT, everything is terrible. It is absolutely the worst. And one way that they do that is essentially make it so that all the cards, like the highest they go every month, is like +1. That's why it's almost December, and 89s are the highest outside of Mario and Gretzky. And while, again, I think that's good for the overall gameplay, because, again, once it gets to 99, everything is awful. It's whoever is the biggest player, because skating and everything is exactly the same. The downfall of that is because how the cycle of content works in HUT, it's every 2 weeks, meaning that in a month, you're getting 2, maybe 3 events, and they're all going to be the same overalls. And if they don't come out, if every Master Set player doesn't come out with a banger abilities or like some crazy different builds and like that, what we're left with is these cards aren't really all that great for me. I'd rather just use the Gallery of Greats event. So perfect example is the Gallery of Greats cards like Ovechkin and Yager are fantastic. And then we got Bobby Orr, which is huge, but that's an outlier. And then in this event so far for the next gen, awesome event, super cool, and I love the format of them allowing us to upgrade the Calder winner and the finalists. But because the cards aren't meta or unbelievable, we're not as excited about it, right? Which I think is completely okay. We're just trained to being gotta go chase the next top end card every 2 weeks. And I think that what EA is doing to change it, while again, it makes every event mean a little bit less, overall, I think it's a good thing. Nothing wrong with passing on this event, man, because the next event is going to be probably December, because we'll get week 2 of the next gen event. And the week 2 cards are obviously going to be better, because we're going to get Bedard, we're going to get maybe Logan Cooley, Leo Carlson, for example. But on top of that, the next event is probably going to have 88 overall Master Set players, and usually those are the big banger ones because it's the first of the upgrades. So, yeah, completely okay with skipping this event. Hi, I have too many right wingers. Base McDavid, Sakic, Yager, Teravainen, and Kuznetsov. Which one would I skip? Not McDavid, of course. Honestly, Sakic's getting a little long in the tooth. And obviously you can upgrade, or you can trade him in for Solani. Yager, I would upgrade. And Kuznetsov, you could go the one more tier to get him using Unstoppable Force. I would upgrade Kuznetsov to 86 if you're going to use Unstoppable Force. If you're not, and he's too low in the lineup and you can't justify using it, then I wouldn't. But, I mean, yeah, I would probably move on from Sakic, upgrade Yager, Kuznetsov, and keep Teravainen. Hey, Slaves, just wondering which team is the cheapest in terms of making the team builders? Honestly, it varies, right? Because all of them, you don't have to make every single one. You can make whatever ones you want. Honestly, the ones that have, the most amount of 80 overalls, or they aren't super exciting, I find Philly and Minnesota are really easy to make for some reason. I don't know why. Chicago's the worst because they only have 2 players that are above 80 overall, so... Ace Slaves, not doing any team builders, and I have 200k. Is there a good way to make coins to get the fantasy card Zaka? I'm just straight up doing a theme team for the entire year. I have more fun doing it that way. Does Pasta have a chance to go team of the year, go Bruins, go? He does. I guess he is piling up the assists. he's always just kind of forgotten about. He does. I don't think it's a strong one, but he definitely has a chance. Like, I think it's McDavid, even with his slow start, and then probably Jack Hughes, and then maybe Matthews or Draisaitl. Like, it gets, or McKin, like, I don't know. It gets kind of like fishy there. So maybe it is. Hey, Saves, thanks for always answering my questions. Just wondering if I'm sitting around 1 million coins with an 85 overall team, how would you recommend I save, and how much would you recommend I spend now to improve my team? Honestly, man, as of someone who's free to play, what I do is I look out for cards that are unique in terms of like upgrades. So Heritage Classic and the Global Series, perfect example. And then I look and see if there's cards that potentially, if they win or get an upgrade, are massive improvements. So McDavid and Nylander, I vested like 150K in each at the time when they came out, and they each went for well over 200 because they did win, which is a bit of a risk, but like that's like kind of like the improving your team. Even if they don't improve, you could probably sell them for roughly around the same price. But they also like look for the cards that have unbelievable abilities because they will hold their value much longer than just the average ones, right? So in terms of improving your team with an 85 overall, that's very vague because I don't know who's on your team. With 1 million, you can make a master set player basically every event. I would just make a free one. Hey, Slaves, I managed to pull the 87 Patrick Waugh. I'm wondering if I should keep him in net. My other goalies are Sorokin, Shesterkin, and Allmark. Also, do you think I should be using goalies without abilities? If he's untradeable, then yeah, you could go ahead and put him in net. If he's tradable, sell him immediately. Use Markstrom. In terms of goalie abilities, there hasn't really been a meta goalie ability or something that's come out where like this is like a must-have. I have X Factor Larkin and X Factor Braden Point. Who do you think will get a team of the year? And I also have an X Factor sitting Crosby and no money spent in free to play, and I'm struggling in Hut Champs. Do you have any tips for Hut Champs? And should I chase icons or team? This is like 9,000 questions. Okay. Larkin and Braden Point will not get team of the year. Sidney Crosby will not get team of the year. I'm struggling in Hut Champs. Do you have any tips or Hut Champs? Go watch my best strategies and settings video. That will help. Should I chase icons or team builders? Kind of depends how much you play. If you don't play a ton, I honestly think team builders are the best because you're going to get a bunch of great cards now, and then you can then trade them in and upgrade. An icon is like one great card for the length of the game. So it's kind of hit or miss, right? Like you have to weigh how many good cards you have. I was also not able to participate in fantasy event. Should I save my resources for team of the year? Thanks a lot. I'm someone who thinks that like saving for team of the year is just lame because if you get all 6 of them, like it's just like pointless. You can't change them. But yeah, you probably save for 1 or 2. Breezewa is my new favorite player after watching Slaves. And then it's just a list of people spelling Breezewa in the most ridiculous way possible. That's why I love my community, man. Hey, Sleeves, is Makar or a bad D pairing my first pair? I am now struggling. Since the change with the last update, there was a reduction of the maximum speed that you can get to while holding down circle or B, which is now if you're using total control for hitting. And basically what's happening now is that if you hold down circle or B, you're not getting a full check. Now, so I got away from that, right? You're not able to bump anyone off the puck because the hit animation just wouldn't do it. So if you use the pull down and then push up on the hit stick with the hit stick, essentially you get a 5-minute major every single time. So I'm having a really hard time with smaller players knocking people off the puck. So I would mix one of them up. Should I mix in offensive D-man with a more shutdown? Yes, I would. And I would make sure the other defenseman has shutdown or truculence. He says he has no team builders. Try and get Breezewa. Hey, Slaves, great content. Just wanted to know your opinion on some technical stuff. I think hip checks should be nerfed. A guy can barely tap my player's back without momentum, and it's still OP. 1,000%. Hip checks are a disaster, and once you get into Division 1 and 2, like the high end and Hut Champs, you'll find that players abuse that quite a bit. 100% needs to be addressed, and apparently it is coming in a future patch. 2, I think it's way too easy for the puck to bounce off my own defenseman's skate from cross-crease passes or my own goalie passes and into my net. Happens every other game. 100%, I agree. 3, I think total control should be taken out. I think it takes skill away from the game. Let me know your thoughts, and maybe you can give some suggestions to EA. Honestly, the more I play with total control, the more I've liked it. And that's even with Michigan's being completely not usable. Like, again, I don't know about the lower divisions, and I suspect that in the lower divisions, because there's like less good defensive players. You can easily get the Michigan off pretty quickly with the one button. When you're in Division 1 and 2, you can't. I've seen no Michigan scored in the last month. I'm not over exaggerating. And you saw, if you've been watching my content, I scored the Michigan all the time early on. It's just not going in, and it's so easy to defend. Other than that, like, total control is essentially the same, other than the hip checks. So once the hip checks get nerfed, I really don't think there's any difference. Like, I'm honestly starting to like the protect puck. Again, this is a personal thing. I'm not relaying this info to EA that, like, yeah, keep this. I'm just saying this is my opinion. The something Eki brought this up as well. So you click in the right stick, and you move left and right, and whatever way that you move secondly, it will protect the puck. You used to hold down A to do that. And it's actually better because you don't take your thumb off the thumbstick. There's some weird things about total control I'm actually starting to like. Hey, Slaves, do you know if Slavkovsky is Calder eligible? I don't think he will win, but it'd be interesting if 6'4" Cobb the right got one again. I don't think he's eligible. I think he's played too many games. Hey, Slaves, I feel you. I was just sick. It was awful. You're not alone. I need a right-handed defenseman. I'm closer to 87 team builder. Should I go with Breezewa or get Nieuwendyk instead? Nieuwendyk's the best one. You could make Brock Faber instead of Breezewa. Yes. And then Breezewa, you need to make 2 team builders anyway, so I would make them both, but yeah. Should I upgrade my Brock Faber to 87, or should I save collectibles for Bedsy? I normally get like 8 wins and hut champs every week. Wait till week 2. There's no harm in waiting till week 2. McDavid is team of the year locked, so wouldn't it be best to keep his X factor caught up? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's why when you chase his X factor, it's the best card in the game. You just keep it up. Yeah, 100%. Hey, Slaves, hope you feel better soon. I'm pay when I get frustrated. I have Zubov, Breezewa, and Training Camp Makar. Looking to upgrade Makar with a better right-handed defenseman, especially since the new team builder isn't far away. I have about 150,000 coins. Thanks for the help. It's great content as always. I like McInnes. I do. Faber is probably the option. Oh, and Pareski right below me says the exact same. Please tell EA to change champ rewards formats to points instead of wins. That way, overtime losses mean something besides placing in the top 100. Question. I have 2 team builders, Nieuwendyk and Robotail right now, and another 70K plus 8 for Faber. Should I save for team of the year? Keep making team builders. If you can make 2 more team builders, make them. If you can only make 1, no. In terms of hut champs, honestly, when it was points, it was awful, and everyone wanted win-based. I think the major issue right now, though, is because there's servers that Europeans and West Coast players, for example, have a much easier run at 20 games than someone who lives in Quebec or in Ontario or in the East Coast of the States. So it does kind of skew things with the wins. I think wins should be like a plateau, like not a rank. It's like once you hit 16 wins, here are your rewards, that kind of thing. I believe Madden does that. That's how it should be. Overtime losses, yeah, man, I'm not about participation points. If you lose in overtime, that's an L, but I'm old, so. Hey, Slaves, your videos make this game so much better. I appreciate that, man. Here's a question for you. I'm going away for 4 weeks over Christmas. Would you sell your cards before you leave to have some economy left when you get back, or how would you do it? Also, I save any packs to open for them when I get back. Yes, if you're not going to play for a month, sell everything now because everything you have now will devalue. Unless it's a fantasy card that you probably want to hold on. Hey, Slaves, I'm a Leafs fan. I've been saving up for fantasy Riley. He just scored this morning. His value went from 350 to 400K. I currently have 240. Should I continue saving for him, or should I use it to finish off team builders? I'll also mention I did build Fantasy Chicken. Thanks for all your hard work. Dude, always go after your favorite players. Forget about all that stuff. Go after your favorite players. Hey, Slaves, glad to see you're feeling better. No money spent and still chasing icons and X Factor, McDavid, plus working over Breezewa. Do you think women's X Factor players are worth holding for Team of the Year at this point? I have X Factor Poulin on my 4th line. Not sure if she's worth holding or re-rolling at some point. Also, if you know any reasonable price, right-handed shots on forward or defense, much appreciated. The best budget right-handed winger is Base McKinnon. And again, Brock Faber is probably your option for defense. In terms of women players, it depends how high up in the game you play, unfortunately. They just really give you a competitive disadvantage because of their size. Hillary Knight, however, has been really good, and she's probably going to get a Team of the Year. I don't know enough to be able to make or tell you what one's going to win Team of the Year, though. So I apologize. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for this episode of Who Should You Choose. Make sure you subscribe with notifications on for your chance to get your question answered in the next video. Also, first of all, I appreciate all the follows. Come check me out on Twitch. I'll answer your question live anytime. I'll see you then. Have a good one.